Hi, good morning all, and thank you so much for joining this exclusive webinar. My name is Ashish Asthana. So guys, today we are doing this exclusive session on considering term plan or term insurance, cover as a base of your financial planning, as a very important aspect when it comes to your financial planning, right? Because in current scenario, if we see, definitely we would be having a lot of interactive conversation in the session ahead, but as we can see that currently the most important part is protection of wealth, at the same time protection of health as well, right? So to do the needful and have we're going to have discussion on this topic. We have Mr. Sourabh Kumar, who is a vice president of products with HDFC Life. So he's with us today. So Mr. Sourabh, we welcome you to the show and thank you for
Thank you,
joining.
Ashish.
So all our investors are awaiting to know, considering this, current COVID situation and the things which are in news, the two words, protection of health and wealth. What do you think the way ahead on this part?
It's a very relevant question, Ashish, and especially in testing times like this, where in the last 3-4 months, we don't know what the normal is. And worst part that we don't even know going ahead what would be the new normal. So this is what is uncertainty. And the idea of insurance always has been to guard against uncertainty. And more so for term insurance. Term insurance, if I can say, it is as essential as any roti, kapda, or makan which is there. Because once you start earning, once you uh, start growing up in life, what happens that without you even realizing, you create a lot of a dependency, a lot of expectations. Like, for example, uh, from a single person, you get married, you have a responsibility of a family. With a family, you accumulate a house, you accumulate other wealth, and slowly your lifestyle changes. You start taking a holiday, you have a kid, you start giving that kid a certain kind of education, sending that kid, and you start having dreams that what he or she would become going forward. Your parents start getting old. Now we live in Indian society, how much of a nuclear we become, but still we have responsibility towards our parents, towards our siblings, towards our extended families which are there. And we keep going about it as if we are immortal. We keep changing jobs, we keep growing in our jobs, we keep performing better. And all of a sudden, one fine day, something just happens. You are no longer there. Now, the good part for you is that you are no longer there. But what about the people who basis you had created so many dependencies of who you were so responsible for? And then you leave them in lurch without any cover if you've not taken a term cover, if you've not done enough financial planning, leave them. So I always say life is like a beautiful house that you build, and term cover is like a lock, the cost of a lock. You can secure that beautiful house. So, yes, whether it be the COVID era now or whether it was before, term insurance remains important. It will remain important. And anybody who has been sitting on the fence thinking to buy or not to buy, please buy.
Right. Hello, can you hear us? I think
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
some
Ashish.
audio. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Ashish, I can hear you.
All right. I think there was some little glitch in the audio part. Okay. So currently, at this point of time, what HDFC Life, do we have any plans which because see, what I feel is at present still the penetration across the country, if we see, of the population is much lower, and even the ones who are having, they are also not adequately covered, right? So what
I,
do you have to talk on this part?
I think, Ashish, you just said something which is very close to my heart. That I can understand, there is a big strata of our country's population which genuinely can't afford buying a decent size of term cover. They have got the financial constraint, and for them, The government has come up with schemes which are there, which is giving. But if I leave them on one side and I talk about the masses who are not constrained by the affordability, still in those masses, the worst part is that they are so inadequately covered. It, to just give an example, it would be like, somebody starts working at the age of, let's say, 24, 25, would meet a financial planner at the age of 27, 28. That financial planner will tell that person, you take a 50 lakh of term cover. Now, the 28-year-old, even when he or she becomes 35 years old or 40-year-old, does not realize that, like the way they have changed from scooter to a car to a sedan to a SUV, they need to upgrade their plans also. A 50 lakh needs to be upgraded to 2 crore, a 2 crore needs to be upgraded to 4 crores, which is there. Because as I said, with time, along with wealth, you also accumulate responsibility, and
Right.
responsibilities have to be provided for. So it needs to be revisited, or otherwise, you should have a foresight, which unfortunately very few of us have it at that young age, where you say that, okay, this is the amount that I will require. So yeah, we are hugely plagued by the problem of people inadequately covering them. People buy a cover of 1 crore and say, this is enough, 1 crore. 1 crore might be enough in 2020, but are we going to die today? And if we knew that, then why 1 crore? Because let's say somebody's child who is 7 years old, right? That child would be going to college after 10 years, after 12 years. In time value of money, the way inflation is increasing, the way we are seeing things becoming expensive, what would be the cost of a good engineering, MBA, medical college, or studying abroad? Will this 1 crore, at that time, the value of this would be what? 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs? Will this
Right.
suffice? If it does not suffice today, how will it suffice then? So, yeah, uh, most important is to buy a term cover, and more important than that is to buy adequate term cover. And the thing is that, there are a lot of options, like term covers over the years have evolved. So if I go back 5, 6, 10 years, at that time there was only one option which was there, that you buy a cover at X age. Let's say at the age of 25, you buy 100 rupees of cover. Now that is what it is going to remain. Over the year, plans have evolved. There are, like for example, at HDFC Life only, at different stages of your life, the cover can increase. It can be increased, like when you get married. So these facilities are there, so people need to look for them, and that is where financial planning and awareness comes into factor. It also, like earlier term plan was, you buy it in case you die, you will get the lump sum amount. Most of the time, what we see that the better half or the spouses who are there, sometimes they are not very financial savvy, and in some instances where we have seen, when this lump sum amount comes, uh, people who get to know about it try to swindle the money out of this insurance. They try to give bad advice, they try to take their money away, and that is where we have come up with option where this can be received as a monthly income option, so that nobody can cheat you out of it, nobody can give you. So if you think that your spouse is, not that financial savvy, if a lump sum comes, somebody can try and cheat your spouse, opt for a minute. So term plan has evolved to cover most of our needs and aspects which are there. One just needs to go for it and not think of it as a liability. This month let me go for a holiday, and term insurance I will buy in the month of September.
Hmm.
That will be my thought on your question.
Absolutely. Very true. In fact, so in this scenario, we have fairly understood that it is a must having a product, one of the necessity to be in one's portfolio. Now, if you can throw some light on any specific plans that are offered by HDFC Life, and what kind of a special features that, from customers' perspective, what is in it for them as a unique features. If you can let our viewers know about that, it would be great.
Sure. So at HDFC Live, we have always been pioneers in innovating, and there is, I can tell you, as being a part of the product team, I can tell you one thing we're constantly on lookout for is that what aspect of this customer requirement is uncovered. How can we do it better? If we are covering it in one way, how can we do it better? So that is where we came up with this plan, our term plan, Click to Protect 3D Plus. Now, as I said earlier, term plans were only about, you buy 1 crore term plan. If you die, you will get 1 crore. We realized that death is one phenomena that happens to us. There are worse things than death that happen. For instance, I would say disability. Now, imagine a breadwinner of the family who for so many years was the pillar supporting, let's say, a family of 2, 4, 5 people. Family was used to such a lifestyle, meets with an unfortunate accident, let's say a car accident, which gets him bedridden. Now that person is unable to go to work and earn the income the way that person used to do in past. What happens now? All of a sudden, from somebody who was the breadwinner becomes a liability. And trust me, none of us would like to be in that situation. Whatever happens to us, we always want to provide better for our family. Rather than be a liability, we would say, I wish, could I have done something better? Yes, we could have done. So in C2P 3D plan, we not only cover death, we also provide options to safeguard against disability. We also have got riders and inbuilt benefit which provide for diseases which are there. So it gives you a whole threesome coverage of death, disability, and disease. The complete 360-degree protection, if it exists, it is there with C2P 3D. So like there's a lot of options. There are 9 plan options that are there. Life option, which gives you a lump sum amount. There is a return of premium option. So in case you're somebody who believes that, okay, if something will not happen to me, premium should come back. Yes, there is a return of premium who are there. There are customers, while term insurance has always said that, it should be goal oriented and you should cover yourself till a certain age, till the time you think you have discharged your responsibility. And depending upon each one, so somebody's could be 65, somebody's could be 75. But then there are set of customers who said that no, uh, I would rather want to be covered for my whole life. And we said fine. So we came up with something like a whole life option, which is there. There are customers who said that you know uh, this is only life cover is not enough for me. Uh, if I die in an accidental death, there should be a double cover. We said fine, we will do that also. So there is an extra life option which is there. So there are 9 plan options which are there, which the
Mhm.
customers can choose. And if I were to just talk about, there is another term plan which we have, which goes by the name of Click to Protect Plus, which is there. This provides you flexible payment options where you can do a limited pay, you can do a single pay, or you can pay till your entire policy terms which are there. There are life stage protections, as I said, to cover your fresh medical or key milestone needs which are there. So yes, we we can say that at HDFC Life, the term plans that we have do cover a lot of needs. So as I mentioned, uh, life option where it means that on the death of the policyholder, the death benefit is payable to the nominee. There's an extra life option which we say, which means that on an accidental death, an additional sum assured is payable to the nominee which is there. Income option, which I said that in case you feel that your spouse is not that or your nominee is not that financial savvy, and uh, they would, rather than getting a lump sum amount, they would be better suited if they were getting like the way they were used to your salary. We have that option also in our Click to Protect Plus plan, where we say that on death, let's say your sum assured was 1 crore, 10 lakh rupees comes to you as lump sum. Remaining 90% will come as a monthly income for the next 15 years, which are there. There is an
Right.
income plus option again, where we say that 100% of the death benefit. Now, continue with the example of 1 crore. Let's say somebody has a 1 crore sum assured. On a death, 100 crore, the 100% of the sum assured, which is 1 crore, is paid to the nominee, plus a 0.5% of the sum assured, which is there, which of 1 crore, the 0.5% would become 50,000 rupees, is payable as a monthly income for the next 10 years. So it gives you both the advantage that a lump sum amount is also received, plus for the next 10 years, there is a steady source of income also for the family which are there. So these options are there, and I would specifically want to talk about the life stage protection option which is there, which gives you while you are buying the policy at different stages of your life, it gives you an opportunity to increase your cover. So say for example, let's say you are a 25-year-old person and you have bought a sum assured, let's say of 1 crore sum assured you bought. Now, as we said that as we grow up in life, our responsibilities increase and we need to safeguard and provide for it. So when you get married, you become responsible for the other person also. You have got an extended family. So at that stage, 50% of the sum assured can be increased, subject to a maximum of 50 lakhs. So here, your sum assured now becomes 1.5 CR. Now, is
Hmm.
that the end of your responsibility? No. Tomorrow, once you're married, you will have a child. Once you have your first child, your sum assured again increases by 25% of your base sum assured. So that sum assured, which was 1.5 crore, now becomes 1.75 crore. A only child is a lonely child, let's say. So let's say you have a second child after some years. On the birth of your second child, this sum assured again increases by 25%, which in this case, a cap of 25 lakhs, and it becomes a 2 crore. So a journey which you had started as a bachelor at 1 crore, if you would have chosen this option, this enables you that at every life stage of yours, HDFC provides you an opportunity to increase your cover and make that just double up your cover. So, yeah, so I hope I have answered your question. And yes, these are some of the features that are definitely unique, and we think that the customer should opt for it.
Right. I think rightly you have given a good thought process on the product as well. A lot of questions I'm getting in terms of how can I opt for it. So viewers, all you can do is you can simply contact your HDFC Securities relationship manager for the same. He's just a phone call away. Check your coverage. It is very, very important to have appropriate coverage, as rightly explained by Mr. Saurabh, that as the time changes, as the responsibilities in our life changes, our total commitment level also changes. It cannot be static. So please speak with them to understand what is the exact requirement, what coverage would be an appropriate as per the current timeline, because in today's time, it is very, very important to revisit and always check the coverage in terms of health insurance, in terms of your life insurance. That is a very, very important point, right? And secondly, alternatively, if you are unable to reach your RM due to any reason, do speak with the branch manager. Or else, if you're not getting any support, you can get in touch with our central dealing desk team or customer care to know further details. Right. Moving towards the now, we are open for Q&A. So any questions viewers you have, you can post. Already we are getting couple of questions. First question coming in from Mr. Rahul is asking, any exclusions of a term plan that one should know before taking the call for buying it? So Saurabh, any would you like to answer this?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a good question, and congratulate him on being a aware customer. Any plan that you buy, any insurance plan that you buy, uh, the worst thing people do is hurry through. They don't read through the TNCs. Most of the people I've seen, they have a habit. Okay, tell me where to sign here. Your form, you fill the form. If somebody has asked this question, I'm glad as an insurance professional. Yes, exclusions are there in every insurance plan which is there. If I were to talk about a pure term insurance plan with no inbuilt riders or anything which is there, it generally carries the exclusion pertaining to suicide in the first year which is there. That where if somebody who has purchased this policy, let's say that person purchases that policy on 1st June 2020, policy is issued, let's say on 5th June 2020, and on 7th June that person goes and commits suicide. In that case, let's say the sum assured was 1 crore, the claim is not payable. In that case, only the premium amount is refunded to the customer, because it looks like that insurance is a business of utmost good faith. So where the insurer is insuring is relying completely on the customer who's buying it, is relying on the information provided, and it's in good faith that you are not trying to intentionally make money out of that insurance. So yes, there is only this one exclusion which is there. Otherwise, your pure term insurance plans do not have any other exclusions, and they have you covered at HDFC Life in all the scenarios which are there. So a lot many people ask me in recent time that I am an existing term policy holder of HDFC Life, and let's say because of this COVID-19, I contracted and my death happens. Will I get that claim? I always tell them, yes, yes. If at the stage of buying the policy you have answered the questions honestly and truthfully to the best of your knowledge, there is no reason why HDFC Life would ever deny your claim. So you can be rest assured on that. I hope I have answered your question.
Absolutely. Uh, Coming up with the next question, again coming from Mr. Rahul itself. Is there any risk of paying premium in half yearly, quarterly, or monthly mode?
Uh, Risk per se, I will say the risk is lapsation. Lapsation on your part. What happens that we think that rather than paying lump sum, let's say my premium was 12,000 rupees for a sum assured of 1 crore. Now, I would think 12,000 one go. Rather than that, if I do it in 1,000, 1,000, if I do it on my credit card, I'll get points also and I will make money. Now, that's a good thought. But at the same time, what happens? Like recently, on my credit card, I noticed some transactions which were not done by me. So I immediately got in touch with my bank and I alerted them, and I got my credit card cancelled, hot listed. It has been stopped. Now, because of this Corona time, they are unable to issue me the other card, but I'm good with that. But what would have happened in this scenario if my premium was going from my credit card? I would have forgotten that. Now, the premium will not go because of that. What will happen? There is a chance that the premium will get unpaid and the policy will move into grace period and lapsation and so on and so other things. So I would say it's always a good financial habit to try and pay it in one go. But if you are a very disciplined investor, you're very disciplined about it, you can have your choice.
Right. Again, an interesting question coming up from Mr. Rahul. Is any death by act of God, like earthquake, floods, or such kind of war situation, covered under the term plan?
Yes, it is covered. As I said, it is covered. So I don't know Corona ko what we will call. We will call it an act of God. We will call it uh, a pandemic, whatever we call. Yes, it is covered. So giving an example, let's say now there were a flood to happen tomorrow. Some years back in Mumbai, there was a flooding that happened, and few people unfortunately lost their lives, which was there, and the claims were paid for that. In Chennai last year and year before that, if I'm not wrong, there were floodings and people lost their life. It happened in Jammu Kashmir, and as it happens now, the monsoons are on us. A lot of part of our country gets hit by flood, thunderstorm, and other natural calamities, and people do lose their life, unfortunately. But we know that they willingly wouldn't have done this, right? That's unfortunate that it happened to them. And yes, the claim will get paid.
Super. So let's move to the next question. Yeah, again, an interesting question by Mr. Gaurav. He's asking, should I, if I already have one plan, should I upgrade that plan, or I can go with taking another plan of different companies?
Uh, I would say evaluate closely and evaluate carefully, because since I do not know which plan you have and what are the features of it, what are the coverages it provides, so I would not be able to answer this comprehensively. But
Right.
what I would say is, you can just think of it like, uh, just a loose example. Like if you have got an existing car now, whether it require, you know that it requires some servicing. Now, should you spend the money in servicing it, or should you go and buy a new car which has got higher and better features? I think you would be a better judge, or if I had visibility into your complete uh, policy details and financial status, I would have been better placed. But one thing definitely you should not do is not evaluate what is out there, because it is quite possible that if you would have bought this policy years back, a lot of these features which have come in new, at that time they might have not existed, and probably you are losing out on them.
Right. Great. So now I think that's all. Viewers, we are getting a lot of queries. Some people have joined in late. They wanted to know whether I can watch the earlier part. So yes, update to all of them that yes, recording would be available on the same link about an hour's time. So you can click the same link. If you're watching from mobile, open that link on your mobile browser like a Google Chrome or a Safari, or on a laptop, just open it on the browser and you will be able to see the recording from the beginning, right? So that's all for now, viewers. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much, Mr. Sourabh, for joining in and giving such a wonderful knowledge in terms of the product and the entire concept that how one should look at the current scenario. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Ashish. My pleasure.
Yeah, signing off. Thanks all.